Hey there, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the functional trainer single arm seated row, and we're going to be taking a neutral grip with this exercise. A great exercise for your back, and I highly recommend you guys do it. The first thing you're going to want to do is set up your cable, I would say a little bit lower than your hip height, and then you want to make sure that the rotation arm is put at a 1. That way you're inside the machine as much as possible and not like in the middle of the gym floor. And then you want to make sure you choose the appropriate weight. Start off light and then slowly start to increase the weight every other week once you get the form right. Once you do that, you want to make sure that you're seated far enough back to where when you extend your arm, you can come to a full extension without the weights hitting. Because if you do that, then you're taking tension off of the muscle and you're not benefiting from it. Then you want to make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall and that you're rowing all the way back. But before we continue, here's a word from today's video sponsor.
I'm today's video sponsor, and if you'd like help losing fat or gaining muscle, there are a few ways I can help you down below. Either set up a free consultation with us, purchase through one of our free affiliate links, or purchase one of our instant access affordable training programs. Can't wait to be of service to you. Now let's get back to the rest of the video.
Once you have that in place, the exercise is pretty simple, but we want to make sure is just one key thing we really have to dive in like really quickly on is allowing the scapula to move freely. So when you're lowering the weight back to the starting position, you should feel a nice good stretch in your upper back. What that does is it allows the muscles to obviously go through a more full range of motion. So when your arms extended, you're going to actually allow your scapula to protract. So basically your shoulders should come forward. And then when you're rowing it back, your scapula is going to retract. So you're going to make sure that you're squeezing that shoulder back when you're bringing the weight back. You don't want to actually keep your shoulders forward as you're trying to row back. You want to allow the scapula to stretch and also contract while you're doing the whole set. You also want to make sure that you can incorporate this, but it's a slight little twist as you're doing the row, just a slight twist. You don't have to rotate excessively, but you just want to do a nice little twist. You don't want to stay so perfectly chest facing forward so much. Another key thing is you need to make sure that you're sitting as upright as possible. That's crucial when it comes to doing this exercise, because what I normally see is people usually do the exercise and they start like literally leaning back as they're doing it. And what that does starts changing the area that you're focusing on. So if you're trying to build muscle in your back, primarily like in the upper back region, doing the exercise where you're leaning forward and leaning back, leaning forward, leaning back, that's not good. Also notice the tempo at which I'm doing this exercise is nice and controlled. I'm not using momentum. I don't need to jerk the weight in order to get it back. You just need to make sure you do it correctly. That way you can last longer when you train. So here's some common mistakes. You don't want to be leaning back when you're doing this exercise. Stay as upright as possible and make sure that you do it in a slow and controlled fashion. Also, you want to make sure that you're not allowing the scapula to stay protracted like that. So notice my shoulders never go back. Also, we don't want to be doing half reps. Don't do half reps at the bottom of the range and don't do half reps at the top of the range. Do full repetitions all the time. That way you get the most out of the exercise. Also, we want to make sure that our chin is tucked and that we're looking forward, that we're not looking up and placing unnecessary stress on your back. Also, we don't want to be rotating excessively like I said before.